this next video on books for truth seekers along their own path to God and other truths. Anyway, this book series will be called Modern Spirituality and Philosophy for Enlightened thinkers. I'll work with the title. Anyway, these books I will present is still within the Eastern thinking. This next book is The Science of Self-Realization by A.C. Bhaktive Swami Prabhupada. Anyway, this book is mostly based on the Swami's interviews with other people that have been interested with his take on Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is known in Buddhism, Hinduism as the cosmic awareness of all things, knowing that everything's connected, everything's having its own unity, an awareness of the universe. And a greater knowledge comes with that. The word Krishna to consciousness is more with Krishna from the Bhagavad Gita and more within Hinduism that you learn, like I mentioned in one video, in one chapter after the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna had the greatest realization. And as a guide, he taught this, or guided this realization to Arjuna that he has all gods in the universe, and the Lord, known also in Hinduism, as God within himself, and that he was a part of it, of all things, just like you, me, the rest of this universe. It's all a part of God in me, that is in his being. But anyway, the book is more of a self-realization of that. That the Swami was able to try and teach people about in many other interviews. Anyway, next book. 3 books actually by the same author, which is by the Dalai Lama. This is also a story, his own path into science and spirituality, called A Universe in a Single Atom, by the Holiness in Buddhism, the Dalai Lama, 14th, I believe. This book is more of a conjoining of science and spirituality. I've always known that science gets closer to spirituality every minute, and discovering more things about the universe and of the atoms and things. Buddhism, although I can't remember where I found this from, probably another video, that Hinduism is agnostic of God, but has more paratheistic tendencies. But with the Dalai Lama, I remember there's a video presentation of Carl Sagan and the Dalai Lama actually having a deep conversation about Buddhism and science. For example, if if Buddhism was wrong within its own teachings, because science proved it wrong, then Buddhism can change its own. I wouldn't say doctrine, but most people would say doctrines, but I would rather for teachings within Buddhism. Anyway, next book by the Dalai Lama is, in my own words, an introduction to my teachings and philosophies, which is by the Dalai Lama. This is the book. It's his own spiritual mastery and philosophy and meditation. And it's also a book for non-Buddhists as well. It's his own ideas that are very powerful, and how he again not prove, but how we can join science and spirituality together. Again, the book. Next one. Again by the Dalai Lama. Becoming Enlightened. Now this one is different from the two other books a little bit, but this is more the Dalai Lama's guide in Buddhism to becoming, I wouldn't say Buddhist, but coming to enlightenment, to approach nirvana. He had taught stuff on karma, reincarnation, but that's kind of been known as rebirth in Buddhism. But it's changed. I always consider with Buddhism it changes the views between God and reincarnation and rebirth and stuff. Though it's all the same thing. It's a recycle of all things in this universe. God. I don't know God, but that kind of subject with this book. It's by practicing ways to reaching enlightenment. Anything else you can find is mostly by finding your own growth, developing through your spiritual growth, and what else can I find on here in case I missed anything? And mostly developing your own meditational practices. Next book by educator, not philosopher, but he prefers not to be called a philosopher back in his days. By Krishnamurti, J. Krishnamurti, An Awakening of Intelligence. It's a long book to read, big one as you can see, but I'm in the middle of reading it. I am in the middle of it somewhere. Krishnamurti was an educator as much as he don't want to be called a philosopher. But he had a lot of great teachings, lessons. He really investigated stuff on meditation. In one video, I remember he investigated the audience to think on what is God, or who is God. Then, what else did he mention? He taught on a whole bunch. He was heavy on the intelligence things. I'm just reading from the back here in case I forgot something. He has more of a examination on the cosmic consciousness or on his awareness. He also has a lot of great stuff for truth seekers that are looking through their own path in life for God and a lot of truths that are known. But with Krishnamurti, he was more of a rational. He had a rational way of explaining things about within Hinduism, Buddhism, maybe Taoism. I'm not really sure. He had a way of explaining things in his lectures or to his audience on a whole bunch of knowledge from the East. He was able to explain. Another book that has more interviews within itself is between Krishnamurti and scientist or physicist David Bohm. It's called The Ending of Time. It's an interview book on where philosophy and science meet, where physics and philosophy discuss the nature of consciousness, the nature of existence, the issues of good and evil. But they have a conversation on the existence of mind and body, or mind and brain. Though I always consider your mind is your brain, or one is an engine free operating on the mind. However, it's more on how society can change from a greater influence between philosophy and science. And maybe understanding spirituality or coming to terms with it, accepting it, finding the balance of all things. Next book, The Power of Myth, including I have the DVD. The Power of Myth is an interview book and interview series by Joseph Campbell and interviewed by Bill Moyers. Bill Moyers, I believe, he is an interviewer through, I'm trying to remember the name of it here, PBS. He is an interviewer for PBS, but anyway, Joseph Campbell, well-known mythologist who has he has a philosophical knowledge of mythological past. If you look to his other books, like The Hero's Journey, The Hero of a Thousand Faces, Joseph Campbell is known for those books, especially other ones like The Masks of God, which I think is a book series, by the way. They discuss in their interview on different things within mythology, ancient cultures, ancient religions. They discuss us. Let me think here. A whole lot about the Eastern way of thinking, or another Eastern thought that they discuss Buddhism, Hinduism, Western mythology, and he also speaks on God. According to Joseph Campbell, God is an idea. I mean, from Joseph Campbell, God is transcended from that, transcended from ideas, thoughts, even more. That there's more to God than meets the eye, basically, is what Joseph Campbell mentions about God in both the interview series and the book. He also discusses. They also discuss where Jesus and Buddha are similar. Why similar? Because there's alternative sources that discuss that Jesus came to the East and learned Hinduism and Buddhism. He went to the East because of his search for truth. Ooh, he was a truth seeker. Wow. Jesus was a truth seeker. He was looking for truth about God from Hinduism and Buddhism. Those were the lost years of Jesus, which was from being 13 or 14 up to being in his late or early 20s. Is that Jesus went to the East and was taught by Hindu priests and read the sutras of Buddhism. Anyway, that's a whole another subject. But the book, The Power of Myth, is a good book. Even you learn from an interview of all the sound of the universe, or the energies of God being put into a three-letter word, or two-letter word known as Om or Om. As much as we may hear Om in popular meditation, it's popular within both Buddhism and Hinduism. When it comes to spirituality in meditation. Anyway, next book. Those who know Aldous Huxley, Brave New World, Doors of Perception, Divine Within, other stuff. I have one of his known books that is, I would suggest to truth seekers. They're looking for books on God. Books on God and existence and the universe. This book is The Perennial Philosophy. The Perennial Philosophy is a very interesting book. It has different religious thoughts that are combined into a discussion on the nature of God. Good book. He even has passages from different spiritual works, such as the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, Tibetan Book of the Dead, even there are some. There's some Christian mysticism in it as well. Good book for those searching for God. The Way of Zen by Alan Watts. I have 3 books by Alan Watts. I'll show you with Alan Watts. Anyway, The Way of Zen is about Alan Watts' historical perspective on and practices on Zen meditation. My favorite part of this book is where he discusses the history of well, he opens up to Taoism, but he gets into Hinduism and Buddhism, how one influenced the other and one led up to it. Within their own philosophies, he explains the Atman Brahman, the Brahman Atman, and the Anatman. Atman is soul in Hinduism, where Brahman is the universal soul. I mean, ultimate reality, but soul, Atman is soul, universal soul. Then you have the Anatman. Buddhists believe that there's no existence of the soul, where they come to a true existence of themselves as the universe. Like, the Way of Zen, I would suggest to any truth seeker or anybody practicing Zen or learning any practices and so on and so forth. Anyway, that's by Alan Watts. The book. Yes, it is a book, but it's the book by Alan Watts. On the taboo against knowing who you are. This book, Alan Watts shows the relationship between you and the universe and God, and he draws upon Eastern philosophy to explain a lot of his take on things. You have the philosophy of Vedanta in Hinduism, which Vedanta is last work of the Vedas, but also Advaita is non-dualism, known as Advaita Vedanta. Non-dualism means nothing that all reality isn't separated. It's all one. And Alan Watts presents this work as knowing who you truly are. And I would suggest this to any spiritual truth seeker. Now, best for last of Alan Watts' books. Plus, I have his audio lectures right here. Out of Your Mind, by Alan Watts. Alan Watts, in both the book and the audio lectures, he presents his philosophy of actually going out of your mind to come to your senses. With me, as I take the term out of his title, Out of Your Mind, I usually consider it's a way of let me think here. It's a way of going out of your usual way of thinking, to look beyond human ways of thought. He draws upon stuff from lots of Eastern philosophy. Lots of Eastern philosophy. I think here from like the Hindus, the Buddhists, the Taoists. He also has parts of Christianity mentioned in this book, but it's also a book for truth seekers to actually learn from his audio lectures and this book based on those lectures about in your mind on finding being yourself as God, the universe, and the totality of all existence as yourself. Knowing your soul, you're basically a part of the sacred ground of all being. One of Alan Watts's known phrases, not phrases, but it's a Hindu phrase, his mention was Tat Pavimasi, that art thou. It's the meaning that you are the energies, you are the universe, you are basically it. You are it, as it would sometimes be translated as. And that to me is a rare phrase you can find among many philosophers and all religious thinkers or spiritual thinkers. They'll come to knowing the ground of all existence, the natural world, the universe, is a being of God that exists everywhere. Even people will come to this knowledge deeper within by going out of their mind, come to their senses on knowing the eternal truths of yourself, the soul. And that of being true to yourself, even as God. Anyway, that is my modern philosophy books for truth seekers. Have a good day and good night.